We've been doing some demonstrations. Keep in mind, we've had to do this anyway for tests anyway. We use anyway for tests. We do this anyway for if we're going to require in a contract or basically we're going to be doing business with a company that may be interested in our black technology. And you have to be able to show the difference between the two. One of the things you have to show is white levels, and that must be done on white screens only, not gray. Another thing you have to be able to do is you have to show the difference between your product and any other black surface. So you're going to have black vinyl, black fabric, black just about everything you get your hands on. But one of the most important things is black paint. What makes a black screen that has the capability to produce the same contrast as black paint? So we have two things here. I'm going to pour both of these out. We've already painted these on over and over again. Here you see those demonstrations. I'll post them below. This right here is, we're pouring out, is black paint. Right there. That's black paint right there. And right here in this container we have is our Phantom. Ooh. So that's the Phantom. That's the black paint. Look at them side by side. You're like, I don't know which one's which. See? The difference is that this technology we have here can see and read white light. This one being black paint can't. Now this is a requirement for anybody who develops any form of black screens. This is one of the things they have to be able to do is tell the difference between are you buying black paint at the end of the day or if you're buying a high performance black screen paint. Or in other words, if you're buying a high performance gray screen paint product or you're buying black and white paint. You have to be able to show the difference. Like I said, Phantom, black paint. You have to show which way, what makes these two different. Like I said, when it comes to gray screen paint, are you buying a high performance gray screen paint or are you getting black and white paint at the end of the day? So you have to find out. So over here, we have our black surface painted in over there. I just did this demonstration over on Facebook. They love it over. They love these demonstrations over there. We're going to be doing a demonstration with the white dogs. We got one surface is painted with black paint and the screen itself is using our technology, of course, Phantom technology. And let's begin. Now, like I said, any black surface can have the ability to pull contrast. That's very easy. The hardest thing for a black screen to be able to pull, and what you have to back up, is those those white levels. So let's start. We get the beginning with the dog. There we go. Now, I told you when you look at the Phantoms side by side next to black paint, they look exactly both the same. No, Phantoms, when they dry, they have an interesting shade to them. Two ways we can tell that that product is ours. Number one, produces a higher white level than any black surface. Number two, when they dry, they're not actually the same color as when they dry. They have a certain signature shade attached to them. So if you were to paint your screen with everyday black paint, this is what you would pick up. If you were to paint your screen with our Phantom technology, this is what you would pick up. That's why I said it's a little bit more harder than just taking black paint and saying, hey, look, I made a product. No, you have to run tests. Tests have to be run. You have to show a difference. That's why I can come on here and I can make a black and white product and match someone's product at the end of the day. Because there were no tests done. What is the difference between the gray products out there in the day of those gray mixes versus black and white paint? There is no difference. You have to be to show that. So when I do these demonstrations, if someone's going to acquire from me a contract, they want to say, hey, look, Ken, we want to get about 80 gallons of this black paint. But before I basically pull the trigger on this, I need to know what is the difference between your product and black paint. Now, I can put them both out side by side. They both look alike. But you have to show there's a difference. White screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
See, got to show a difference. Now, I've been saying this for many, many years. I've been saying that anytime you develop a black screen, any black surface can pull a white level. The problem you're going to have, can pull a contrast level, I'm sorry. But the problem you're going to have is going to be that white level. That white level doesn't pull, that screen comes up dirty. Ah. There you go. Have to be to back your product 100%. Now, by the end of the day, we're going to make this a challenge. Paint your screen side by side with black paint, pull higher white level. There has to be a huge difference between night and day. As you can see, huge difference between night and day. Can't be a finger distance from the screen doing these demonstrations trying to show off the difference. You have to be back so they can see the entire screen and everything. Sometimes we save these things for last. Like I could have did this easily in one of the other demonstrations, but sometimes I like to save things for last for fun. Like I said, if I pour my paint out next to black paint, they look exactly the same. They do. They're both dark. The only difference is that, like I said, we have a signature shade that allows the screen to turn a certain color, or shade of black, when they dry. That's how we know our stuff is our stuff. And the other thing is basically, you hit this with any vinyl, anything that doesn't have the ability to read white light, it's gonna come out like that. Guess what? Phoenix has the same technology embedded too, to a certain degree. Phantom has more of it, but the Phoenix has it too. Which we're going to be doing some demonstrations on that on a 150-inch screen. That's what I tell people, be careful about doing fake demonstrations. Be very careful. Technology we develop is very unique. Now I gotta go buy some more black paint. Because keep in mind, it's going to be once we do this, then you're going to have the particular individuals that don't like being shown up. They're going to start crying, well, it has to be a different kind of black paint. People, that's sad if that ever comes up. Skyworth food demonstration. As I said, any black surface can pull contrast level. Oh, you see that funny signature in there? Look, hold on, let me pause for a minute. See that funny signature, that coating we put in? Yeah, when I put the paint down, they're both black, yeah. When Phantoms dry, they dry a strange color. If you notice, that screen is so black, it's actually matching the border. Yeah, Phantoms have a signature code to them that allows them to be to dry a different color. That's how we know. If someone pours out our paint and dries and it doesn't look the same way, yep, Like I said, we do this with companies all the time, because like I said, companies feel that, oh, it's black. All we got to do is just get some black paint. It's the same thing. They'll never know the difference. Oh, we will know the difference. See, it isn't that easy to make a black screen paint. It's very, very complicated. Number one, you're going to have to get a screen to pull white light. Now, when you pull white light, it's going to have a balance of color. It has to have a balance of contrast. You can't have too much contrast because the white level suffers. And if the white level suffers, that means color suffers. But when it comes to color, you have to have it in between of black and also white levels at the same time. It can't be too dark because then the colors will start to turn real dark, but the white levels have to be high enough. And if it's too much in between, then everything fades and washes out. And once you get that figured out, that nightmare figured out, then you got to go through the other crazy stuff you're going to have to go through of trying to figure out how it's going to work on different forms of projectors and distance throw and certify screens. And yeah, it gets crazy. So there's a lot of testing, a lot of work that goes into it. But since my knowledge comes from my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, I can develop technology like this in an hour. Interesting. Doesn't these videos look kind of familiar, like on somebody else's channel where an image was coming up supposed to be our product? Yeah, it was black paint. Now let's say if we were to get some fabric. Somebody would say, well, you know what, Bird? I can go out and I can get some black fabric and I can do the same thing. And mind you, we go this, when we talk to companies all the time, they come up with other solutions. Instead of paying us the money, to give them that advanced screen, they want to think of other options, and those other options end up costing them more money. So you got a screen that's probably somewhere around 200 inches, 300 inches. You go buy $300 for black paint, and we have them come back and say it didn't work out too well. Now you got to try and get to buy our product. Showed you the demonstration. You got to do it right the first time. And for those of you out there, keep in mind, if you got individuals out there that are telling you, oh, it can be done that easy, they're lying to you at the end of the day. These are the same individuals that you can make products out of black and white paint. Come on. Since they're going to tell you that, sit there on the camera and tell you there's a high definition 4K ability on a gray paint. At the end of the day, you find out it's nothing more than black and white. That should tell you something right there. So it's not easy to just go out and say, voila, black screen is done. No, you have to show the difference or what makes your black screen different from any other thing. The one thing about our technology, it has a way to produce heavy white light. All right, there we go. Okay, let's go over here. Having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. So now we're going to be going after black products, spray paint black products. Don't post your ingredients because we'll make it over here. We'll make it and we'll do the demonstration. It's going to be white level test only. You're going to have to be to produce, and inside and out, you're going to have to produce that. Even with projectors dropping as low as 1,000 lumens, you're going to have to produce. I told you, tests under black screens are brutal. White screens are a little bit more, gray screens a little bit more easy. No, not really, because gray screens, they have to produce that contrast level. That's the thing with them. Black screens have to produce white levels. So we need some black fabric, right? I like doing this demonstration with the black fabric. Let's put this over here. Now this is also too, we got to test, like I said, when we do these screens, we got to test them against everything. We got to test fabric. We got to test vinyl. Anything that's black, we got to test it. Chalk paint, spray paint, doesn't make a difference. It has to be tested. That way we can get an idea of exactly where our white levels are going to hit. Very important. Let me get more on this side. There we go. I like that better. Where's the remote control? I just had it a few minutes ago. I lose my remote control so much, I swear. I'm a quarter for every time I lost my remote control. But you can't back your product up. And if it isn't what it's supposed to be, then anybody can come. That's why I told you when we did the great products, in those tests, you're supposed to be able to paint your screen in different products, like gray, different forms of gray products. And you do a star fill demonstration. Now, any gray screen, it's going to be to pull up a high white level colors and all that. That's already given. The hardest thing for a gray screen to pull up is going to be contrast. That's the hardest thing it's going to pull up. Like black screens, it's white levels. So when we do a demonstration on a black screen, we put all these different screens up here, like black paint, black fabric, all this stuff. Then we show white levels. You can see exactly the difference between our product. When you do a gray screen, you're supposed to do contrast only. So you can see what the contrast levels pull up. So as you can see, and also too, you want to make sure that your product does not come close to matching anything else at the end of the day, because that could become a real serious problem for you. That's why the whole purpose of when we did those demonstrations with those products was not to make the paint. It was to see if we made these particular blends, how close would they come up to matching the product. And they came up not saying, I was expecting maybe a little bump here and there, but not a perfect match. That I did not expect. And it was a perfect match, an absolute perfect match on all three of them, which is not a good sign. So when we do these demonstrations on our black screens, you have to be to see a huge difference between how a fabric's going to look against it, how importantly black paint is the most important thing that's going to look against it, which one's going to pull the higher white levels. There you go. See? Now, at the end of the day, this gives Mr. Bird a big contract, because Mr. Bird can come on here and say, hey, look, check it out. It's my projector right here. Here's black fabric. This is the difference between the two. This is black paint. This is our product. This is the difference between the two. A difference between night and day. If you have to sit up on top of a screen a finger's distance from the screen to show the difference, that's going to be a problem. You should be able to stand back and get the same results. Now keep in mind that the Phoenix is a lot lighter than the Phantom. If the Phoenix had any problems with the ability to not be able to see white light, that would be virtually impossible because it's lighter than a Phantom. A Phantom is 4 times darker than a Phoenix. So if a Phantom can see white light, a Phoenix can see white light. But I'll let you watch the rest of the demonstration. Now because of that, not being able to prove that your product could basically, when you're doing with gray screen paint mixes, like I said, being able to prove that your product's not black and white paint, nah, not really. You can't get around that. Your product is literally black and white paint at the end of the day. Right now, I'm making 5 gallons of it myself downstairs. Why would I pay for it? It's black and white paint at the end of the day. There's no difference. Now, say if I painted that up and say, boom, like his image on the sample sheet came up with this real heavy, crazy contrast level, I'm like, okay, there's a difference between these two. This is definitely not black and white paint. There you go. Have to be to show the difference. Now, if it's easy to make a black screen paint, well, we suggest you do these demonstrations right here. Black paint versus your product, showing white levels, black fabric. And you should be to see a huge, massive difference. Let's go over to the Snow Dogs. Let's see, we got the white screensaver. Did that already. Solid white. Now, one of the things that have to be done, you have to show a solid white level like this. You can't have colors or no camouflage nonsense. Solid white color. Because if it's easy to do a black screen paint, like I said, you should show this. Also, too, cookie cutter. I would love to see these demonstrations also too. We don't call him by his name. We call him Cookie Cutter. There's a reason why he's got the nickname Cookie Cutter, because he did something in a demonstration which labeled him as a cookie cutter. Let's go over to LG snowboarding.
Getting that from YouTube.
Sure don't. Let me put this over here a little bit. Oh. Now that's here. Right there and there, but I want to be able to get go back and get my black paint. Now that's everyday black house paint, and that's black fabric all at the same time. So interesting. What is the difference between your black screen paint and black house paint? Because I can show a difference. Just like I said, what's the difference between, mind you, I made this statement before when I said about the gray screen paints. I said you should do a demonstration with the demonstration video of the black and white screen paints. Remember I said that? And show a comparison on your products. Never was done. So I went and did it. And made all 3 screen paints with a gallon of paint. Or we're doing a lot of more of these demonstrations with black paint. Because next, you know, they'll start arguing about, oh, well, it wasn't black enough. No. I poured them out side by side. You can look at them. They both look exactly the same. Except for the only difference is our product can see white light. Skyworth food demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Got to be able to show those white levels, man. Very important. One of the things I didn't like when you did your demonstration, a gray screen, really doing a comparison with a gray screen for white levels? No, that's done wrong. You did it wrong. It's supposed to be a white screen, not a gray screen. I think the fact that he had to develop a black screen, I mean, it's given up on his great products, but you're going to have to because at the end of the day, like I said, anybody can make them. That's why I sat there and said, if you're going to be doing a demo, if you have a video of you showing you making a black and white product, in order to be able to fix that, you should make the black and white product and match it against your own stuff to show it has nothing to do with it. But again, like I said, it was never done, so I went out and did it, and lo and behold, was not expecting to get perfect matches. So we got to think of a name for our new product, because we're just going to use it for tests. That's it. There's nothing we can do with it. I might use it. You know what point? Why you making that stuff a primer? It's by primer. We don't even prime screens. Oh, we prime the fabric screens. We're just going to use it for test demonstrations. That's pretty much it. Like we have to do a demonstration with the gray screen paint product versus black. That's all we're going to use it for. You know, another use for it anyway. Let's go with white 4K. Wait, cancel. Let me go back there for a minute. Oh, I don't want to do the zoom in on her face. Wow, really? She just bounced me out of everything today. Wow, this is just going to be beating the daylights out of me today. I had to be in the backyard today because remember, I got landscapers coming back there to do the backyard. Backyard has to be done because I need demonstrations done for the backyard. See how dirty the colors come up? Yeah, colors come up dirty. They come up dingy, they come up dirty. Yeah, I got to be back there and I got to clear all the brush out of it, get the ladders out from the backyard. They're going to come up there, they're going to cut the grass down again for the backyard, which gives me access to the 150-inch screen, which we're going to be doing a demonstration very soon. Probably today, we're going to be outside 150-inch Phoenix. We're going to take that big, huge screen we have with that Metallica paint on it. We're going to take that outside and we're going to put that up against the Phoenix outside and do some demonstrations on that. Then I'm going to move the giant 150-inch Phoenix from one side of the deck, and I got another 150-inch downstairs. We're going to coat that with that Metallica mix, put it right next to it, and we're going to have two screens out there with two projectors. And we'll do that demonstration. Then when I'm tired of that, I'm going to paint over that sucker black and just have two of them side by side. Wouldn't it be freaking cool to have two projectors at the same time running two? Yeah, kind of cool I can do that. Until we get the 250 built, because the 250 is a little bit more complicated. Literally had to build a scaffold around the deck to support this thing. Is huge for the screen. Oh man, I can't wait to get it done. Hopefully get it done. Wait a minute. I'm gonna look at it real quick. Let me see. See when the red comes, see how dirty the red comes up? Look at that. I'm gonna show you real quick. See how dirty that looks? It's not supposed to be that kind of dirty. It's supposed to be clean. Ugh. Let's go over to, let me see. What the heck is that? That's freaking creepy. Let's see. Oh, Tropical Islands 4K Relaxing.
Getting that from YouTube.
Which one do we want to go with? White Beaches Tropical Islands 4K Relaxing. I'm gonna get some of this down.
Getting that from YouTube.
Get some white beaches on here. Ooh, that's nice. I like that one. See how dirty the image comes up? That's black paint for you. Black fabric. It's not supposed to be that dirty. There you go. Oh, okay. 4K white screensavers. I should ask for the whatchamacallit. See which ones come out. Mine, it's laying against our technology. Imagine when you paint this stuff on a white screen and our technology is not there. Oh, that's going to be nasty. I tell that right from the door. It's going to be nasty. All right, well, I'm pretty much done with all this mess. Look at that. I'm done with all this mess. Look at that. Just show you a little glimpse of that. Up close. How dark that comes in next to our screens. So now we know the difference between our product and black house paint. Oh, I want to check out this one real quick. Skyworth. Food. No, we don't need that. Just need to pull something out. Ah, I'm talking through the whole thing. Cut it out. Cancel. Skyworth food demonstration. Something need out of there.
Getting that from YouTube.
I want to see. Let's see. Is it going to pull contrast? Black paint? Oh, yeah, it's going to pull contrast. Any black service can pull black contrast level. Your problem you're going to have to go through is your white levels are going to come out horrible. And I mean absolutely horrible. For instance, perfect example. You see how dirty that yellow came up? Oh, that's nasty. I told you. Nasty. There you go. So at the end of the day, we can back up our product. That's the difference between black everyday house paint versus our Phantom technology and its heightened technology. Be able to pull up beautiful white levels compared to black house paint. So we'll show you again. This right here, black house paint. You can see how black it is. That it's not gray, it's actual black paint. This right here is our technology. That's also black. Ugh, I got paint on my countertop so many times it's not even funny. But I gotta now go and wash the whole entire countertop down. I got this treatment oil to put into it to treat the countertop, because that one's had to be done. So I'm looking forward to seeing this challenge done today. And we're not talking about color patterns, we're talking about strictly white levels only. And if y'all can't compete, there's more than one person develops this black paint. If you can't finish the demonstration, then, and keep in mind, we don't want no cookie cutter screens, full size screens. No, none of that tiny little screens and no. And on top of that, don't have the stand away from the screen. As I said before, you should be to sit behind your projector right here and see the difference from here. As a matter of fact, I talk about 18 feet all the time, don't I? Now I'm at 18 feet away from my screen. You should be able to see a difference between that and black paint. So here, this is what I'm gonna do. My challenge for today, for anyone claiming that they can make a black screen paint, I want to see a demonstration against black paint versus white levels and black fabric. And I want a distance of 18 feet from the screen in a fully lit environment. At 18 feet, you can see the difference between that screen at night and day. I don't want to see any bump, a small margin of whatever. No, I want to see a difference between night and day. And one of the displays is going to have to be is an all-white screensaver. That's what I'm expecting today. Because making black technology was so easy. And pretty much, I guarantee you, most people who develop black screens run into this problem. Their white levels won't push high enough. This is one of the problems they fall into. This is what makes them basically don't want to develop a black screen. They'll stick with a gray screen because they got a better chance there and they got a better chance of developing one of these. It takes years to learn how to do this. So this is coming from the same individual who talked on the camera about how his particular great products did all these magical, amazing things, but at the end of the day, I was able to do it with black and white paint. There you go. So I'm expecting to see these by today. And we will check the channel to find out if they were done or not. If they weren't done, we know it's black paint. So then I got to be back on Facebook to do more of these demonstrations. Now that's the blackout cloth surface we use to make that gamer screen. We had to do that too. When I first developed the screen, we basically did one of them that was painted, one that wasn't painted, did a white snowstorm to show that there's a difference between the two. Same thing. Anytime we do anything involving black technology, that's one of the things you're going to have to show off, is to show off the white level comparison to other black surfaces. Because if I did this in a standalone, let me show you what happens in a standalone. All right, say my screen's not even here. We're going to bring the screen down. We're going to do a basic standalone. Standalone means they have nothing in the screen to compare it to. Just the black screen only by itself. You wouldn't be able to tell, would you? If that screen was actually pulling, these screens were actually pulling in very poor dark white levels. You wouldn't be able to tell because they have it on a standalone. Standalone means the screen stands by itself. There's nothing to compare it to. Now, as in the demonstration I saw with the gray screen, you can't compare a gray screen's white levels to a screen that's black. The screen actually has to be white to compare the white levels, as we're doing now in the demonstration. Skyworth food demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now in the demonstration, you were supposed to see a huge white screen in the background, which we do downstairs on the Phoenix with the white screen underneath that. We do the demonstration, we have the white screen laying against our screen, we do the back and forth, the back and forth. You have to see that. Now here it looks fine, doesn't it? But mind, these are the same surfaces that were laying against our screen that were producing such a dirty image. Now, let's take the stand alone screen out of the equation. And we'll put the white screen up. Now, mind you, as I'm doing this, I'm not putting up a gray screen, I'm putting up a white screen. That's what you're supposed to be seeing. Because this is the screen you're going to have in your house. You're going to be painting over. You don't have a gray screen in your house, you're going to have a white screen. Most people that are basically using our screen paint products have white projection screens. They don't have gray screens in their home. That's the reason why they're calling us, because the white screens are not picking up the colors and contrast that they desire. And if you're in a fully lit environment, that screen is washing out. So that's why the demonstration should be done a side-by-side comparison on a white screen. Let's go with the snow dogs. 4K screensavers, white, snow.
Getting that from YouTube.
Anytime you're watching a demonstration on a black screen, keep in mind, if you're doing side-by-side demonstrations, you should never, especially white levels, it should never be done with gray. It's supposed to be done with white only. It's a shame that people don't understand that. All right, there's Big Doggy right there. See how high the white levels are right there? It's the reason why you don't do it on a gray screen, and I'll show you why. Because your white levels are not going to come up that high in the comparison. Where's my sheet at? I can't use any of the certifieds. The certifieds produce very high white levels. Can't use them. And I hope they wasn't portraying that to be the UV mix. So the UV mix is darker than that. UV mixes are this dark. That's the black level of that's the white level of UV mix. So I hope the gray screen he had in his demonstration wasn't supposed to be a UV, because we know what color UVs are. We make UVs over here, so we know what UVs are. I got 100 and 50-inch screen of that one downstairs in the basement. So we know that's not that. That's not it. Well, what are you trying to compare it to? It's right here. It's Digital One Crystal Screen Paint right here. I'll put that right there. So as you can see right here, simple and plain. When you're doing a demonstration and you're trying to show off your white levels on, again, black screen versus a white screen, you never go with a gray screen side by side, because you're not going to get true white levels. You're going to cheat in that, because the white levels are going to come up slightly lower. See? There you go. You want to go with a 100% white screen. That's what you want to go with, because the white screen is going to pull the highest level. So I can see in that first demonstration, failed. Anytime you do side-by-sides, always supposed to be, and showing off white, and comparing white levels, all screens should always be in white. That's the first cheat. All right, let's see what happens if we take this black house paint and we stick this up against one of these screens. What's going to happen? Mine's going to be your screen at the end of the day in your house. This is what you're going to pick up. That's what's going to happen, because that product is not designed to see white light. Where we did this demonstration, we took that same surface, we stuck it against our product, and our product was able to maintain a very white level while this remained dark. Right? Yep. Yes, sirree. Yes, sirree. All right, let's take that fabric and see what happens if we get the fabric. We're going to get the same results with the fabric. We're going to be able to pull up same white levels. So if you decide to take your white screen, get rid of it, and get yourself a black surface instead like this, let's see what's going to happen here for you. All right. Is that a little better for you? There we go. So this is pretty much what you're going to pick up. That's it. Anytime somebody displays a black screen, this is what you're supposed to see. Not a cookie cutter screen tucked up against a wall showing white levels matching a gray screen. You don't do that. It's supposed to be white screens, but that's what's going to be in your house. When you paint over your screen's going to be white, not gray at the end of the day. Now, if you don't like this demonstration, keep in mind at the end of the day, it's your money, not mine. I'm good either way. My customers at the end of the day get what they pay for. But your naysayers out there, if this bothers you, then at the end of the day, I really don't care. It's your money, not mine. At the end of the day, I can fire my screens up and watch TV. I can show snow white levels off my screen. And as for your gray screen paint products, well, we already figured out what's in those already from the door. You bought a black and white screen paint product. That's what you have at the end of the day. We were able to match the product and be able to figure out the ingredients on how it was designed. As I said before, the side-by-side comparison video demonstrations are very important, because if you can't basically show a difference in your gray screen paint products versus bare silver screen versus all these different other screens, and I mean a massive, massive difference between night and day as you're seeing here, then it's easy for somebody to come in and figure out how your stuff is made and actually produce it. Even worse, you have to have tons of test demonstrations because, like I said, Goodyear makes amazing tires. They have tons of tests. If a company came in and said, hey, look, we have the same tire as Goodyear, we can do the same thing they can do, they're going to say, well, where's your test results? Where's your data? We want to see if we can compare data test results if you have the same thing we have. And if they don't, then that does not make it a Goodyear. That makes it a generic knockoff. You have to be to back it up. So that's why I made that statement when I said, hey, look, that fabric, that paint you make, you should be doing that black and white mixture in your demonstration, the video deleted, compare that to your product and show a huge difference between night and day at around 13 feet from the screen. It's never done. So I came in, took the tutorial video, made the product, and voila. Now we have gallons of it downstairs that we don't have to pay for, and we can make as much as we want because, like I said, we know what it's made of. Same thing with the black technology. If anyone was going to try to develop one of our screens, well, you would have to pass all the tests. We've got a ton of tests under our products. You'd have to pass all those tests in order to say that you have the same thing we have. And one of the tests you're going to have to pass is you're going to have to be to show the difference between your product and black paint. Your product and black fabric. Good luck on that one. If you know what went into a heightener is a different formula that goes into this product. It's a whole completely separate identity formula that goes into it. At first, when we developed it, we were going to turn it into a gain heightener. Something you can spray on your screen and actually enhance the gain levels on your screen. We're like, nah, I ain't doing that. So we decided to integrate it into, when we first developed it, it had to be sprayed on the surface first. We figured out a way how to marry it into the surface to allow the surface to be able to read higher white levels. So at the end of the day, if you can't do the challenge, at the end of the day, your product is nothing but black and white paint. And I don't want to see gray paint. I don't want to see those sneaky tactics, any of that stuff like that. Away from the screen, black paint, black fabric, white levels only. When the demonstrations has to be displayed, it's an all-white screensaver. If you can't do the demonstration at the end of the day, we know it's black and white paint. As for the rest of your products, it is black paint. As for the rest of your products, I would love to see you do a demonstration of matching it with the ingredients that I just made. I posted the ingredients. Feel free to go in and copy them if you want. I'd like to see a demonstration of you putting your other products side by side to the ingredients that we made, from matching your products perfectly. And also to the black and white demonstration you have on your YouTube account. Well, you don't have it anymore, but we will post at the bottom, so if he wants, you can check it out. Because I'm curious, how close does his screen paint come into matching our ingredients that we got out of the black and white mixtures, and also to the 3 tablespoons of black paint into white paint. How close does that come to your products you have now? Yeah, you're not going to be able to back that up. I can tell you that from the door, you're not going to be able to back it up. I'm just humoring you. I'm giving you tasks that I know you cannot complete. I'm just humoring you. That's it. You can't do it. I know for a fact, because I asked about these tests for the gray and white mixtures months ago. We've asked you to go outside and display contrast demonstrations, never done. Challenges were massively failed, orders were canceled. And the fact that, like I said, I told you, look, if your product is not the same as the deleted video, make some of these products up, do side-by-side demonstrations, show a massive difference between those and the ones you have, and you haven't shown any of those. Me coming in doing a YouTube video live stream, showing us making the product, adding up how many tablespoons we put in, and then coming up and showing the demonstration. The Metallica mix, 10 tablespoons of black paint into white paint came out so good. And like I said, our intentions weren't trying to make the product. Our intentions was to see how close they would come to the product. That's what it was. But it turned out a lot better than I thought. That 10 tablespoons into that white paint not only produced an identical match to the Metallica, but as she was able to produce 90% of the personal mix along with it, which at the end of the day, the only way you could tell the difference unless you were sitting up on top of the screen. But if you're sitting down on your couch and you had motion, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference at all. So it pretty much matches both of them. But it would have, for me in my mind, it would have to be a perfect match. Then we came out and we did the 2 tablespoons of black paint into white paint, put it up there. It was almost close. Then we did 3, a little closer. When we hit that 4 mark, boom, blended perfectly. No problem. Now we have the personal mix downstairs. I have 5 gallons of that made up. That's going to be for some other stuff we're going to do some other testing for. What was it? The UV mix was easier than the rest of them. Had to do a reversal on that one because I said at the end of the day, if you started off with white paint, put black in there, you would lose a lot of resources. So we turned that one, switched it over, and put in 5 tablespoons of white. Now, like I said, you can go a little bit with that. The most I would put in there is 7, and that's it. 8 would be pushing it. But between 5, 6, and 7, perfect. No problem whatsoever. Matched with no problem whatsoever. So that's the UV mix knocked away. So that's why I said if I were you, basically, I would take the mixtures that we made or take the deleted video of the 3 tablespoons of black paint to white paint and do those side-by-side demonstrations. So like I said, what I figured out was when I was looking at the bare silver screen and I saw the demonstration of how close he was to the screen, I said he literally has to be that close to the screen to show a difference. So if you sat back around 14 feet where the projector was at, you wouldn't be able to tell one or the other. Now, the only difference between the bare silver screen when he painted it on the surface was much darker than the bare silver screen. Bare silver screen is very, very light. So if you didn't add in maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons of black paint, it would have blended the screen with no problem. That was the only difference. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I see how he's doing it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we used to make these paints back in the day, and that's how they were made. They were made with a quart of black paint and a gallon. The gallon you would have the most of because that's your product you're making. You only need a little bit of black. There's no point in you buying a gallon. As you saw in the demonstration, I had a little tiny Tupperware dish about that big. That's it. And I used that to make 3 screen paint products out of that. Why the freak would I go out and buy a gallon? That's just too much paint. So that's why I said when I saw at the bottom in the video, when I saw the can of black and I saw the gallon, I was like, oh, that's this mixture right there. Because in the other demonstration, the guy in a YouTube video had the same setup. Gallon of paint, and he had a quart of black paint. That's all you need. You're not going to use that much. Couple of teaspoons, couple of tablespoons, however you're going to do it. Well, as I said before, we're not making any more. We're done right there. I got to concentrate and work on what I'm working on over here. And we're doing right now, having fun. This is against our own screens. We're throwing black paint against our own screens. So that shows you how crazy and outside the box I do demonstrations. I don't hide anything. I love to do challenges. So if someone says, hey, what's the difference in your product and black paint? Let's do this. I ain't got no problem with that. But if I ask somebody, hey, what's the difference between that black and white mixture and your product? Never hear from it ever again. So I can see now why the video had to be deleted. Because again, like I said, if we were able to make 3 different screen paints, literally from 1 gallon of paint, that tells me now, at the end of the day, all his products are made out of black and white. That's what I get from doing that test. I was never, ever expecting for it to match that well. Never expecting that. Really wasn't. No? don't care about the rest of your products. I really don't. I really don't care about them. At the end of the day, I got things to do. I got work to do. I don't care. I'm doing demonstrations of black and white, black paint against my own screens for fun. That tells you where my head's at the rest of the day, you know? Where other people are afraid to do those demonstrations because their products won't pass. Well, I'm going to be outside today for that screen. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, happy, joy, joy. As I said before, if you drop Martha Stewart into that, well, you didn't make Martha Stewart anymore. Can't find that. If you drop PPJ into it, you're not gonna see it. Like you're really not gonna see it. If you drop PPJ into it, that right there is a screen print I made with 10 tablespoons of black paint into white paint. That's it right there. This is the Metallica mix right here. I think when people design these products, I think at the end of the day, they figure that no one's going to figure out how much black paint it goes in to making the screen. Because they figure if they're off by this much, it's not going to blend. And like I said at first, when I was doing it, this is just something, we're done with that demonstration. It's something a little extra on the side. At first when we were doing it, I was like, all right, I want to go with 6. But something told me, nope, it's not 6, it's 10. And that's why I went with the 10 instead. And 10 brought up this. So I wasn't intentionally trying to make your product. I was intentionally trying to see how close, if we made it, how close it would come to the product that we purchased. Found out that I was able to match it perfectly. All 3 of them, UB, Personal, and Metallica mix, all 3 of them out of a $40 purchase of $23 of everyday white paint and a quart of black paint. And I still have paint left over downstairs to make other stuff. But the fact that I was able to match the screen perfectly with no problem lets me know now that out of those 3 products I was able to make, as you go in video and you claim that this is something new and something special that no one, blah, 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 blah. No, I was able to make all 3 of them from black and white paint. Same ingredients. No glitter. No silver. Nothing. Which now, since I know that the rest of your products are made the same way too. And if like I said, if I'm wrong on that, then all you would have to do is take the ingredients that I posted at the bottom, or basically take the black and white mixture that you made up the video, delete it, and do a side-by-side demonstration. And you shouldn't be standing from there when you do the demonstration. You need to stand here. This is where you need to be at. Not a finger distance from the screen. They should be to see the difference from here. Like I did the black paint versus our screen. I can stand all the way back there and you can see the difference. You should be able to do the same thing. Now, right here, you actually should be where the projector's at. You should be behind the projector for that demonstration. Now, like I said, not only did it was able to produce that product right there, but also it was able to get 90% of the personal mix. So we got 2 out of 1. We got the personal mix and we got the Metallica mix at the same time. And again, not to be rude here, but so you can understand this. When you do your demonstration, you are not supposed to be a finger distance from the screen. You have to act like you're talking to the customer. Customer's not going to be sitting that close to a screen. You have to do it at a distance where they're going to be at. So you need to see a difference between night and day. Because if not, you now have to go in and back up that your product is not a black and white paint. Not only that, the black screen paint, you call yourself cheating and doing also too your demonstration to do correctly, you're going to have to back that up by saying, showing that it does not compare to black paint at the end of the day, or black fabric or anything else. And you must show solid white levels when doing it, and you must be at a distance behind your projector when showing it. They should be see the difference between night and day. But until then, we have your product now. We have the ingredients, we know how it's made, and know how much paint to put in to get the exact same thing over and over and over again and again and again and again and again. This is why you need a test behind your products. Now say if you had some really crazy tests behind his products, that means people, when I come on here, I'm gonna have to run every single test under his product to show that I have an exact duplicate of his product. If I fail one of those tests, then he wins. But he has no tests under his products. The final test demonstration for this product was put into an environment. My environment was much brighter than this, and it was put into a poorly lit environment, and it showed some colors on the screen. That was it. That was a final test. The final test for our product is the screen has to be taken outside at 13 to 14 feet back on 1,000 lumens. It has to produce an image. Not only that, it must produce color, contrast, white levels, the whole 9 yards, and it must do that at 190 degree viewing angle at certain times in the video. Mind you, this is something we gave to him, which was considered to be a challenge that he could not do, but at the end of the day, it's something our screens have to do every day. So you can't say, well, the screen didn't match me on white levels. Yeah, it matched you on white levels, contrast levels, everything. Now there's a personal mix right here. This is your product right there. So the hardest thing is the fact that, let's say if I made 2 of these products out of that black and white paint and one of them didn't pop up, then it shows me in the demonstrations that, all right, this product is made completely different than the other ones. But they all match the exact same black and white mixture. It's just a difference of how much black paint I put in, or if I change the base from black to white. They all reacted the same way. LG demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
That's the reason why. Hopefully you learned something from this. I'm not trying to put you down. Hopefully you learned something from this. The next time when you develop a screen paint, you need to do a lot of testing. A lot of testing. Don't be afraid to basically fail, because it's going to happen. Just go out and do the test. Because at least you know at the end of the day, if something fails on your screen, that's something that can be fixed before you put it on the market and before your customers figure it out. Or somebody like me figure it out. Go and test your product. Show there's a difference between your product and black and white paint. Not sitting up on top of a camera or a finger distance from a screen. You got to be at a distance when you do this. Because now you have something else. Someone can say, well, if you're at a finger distance, what happens if you sit back 14 feet? See, there you go. You got to cover everything. If you notice in my demonstrations with my black screens, we have demonstrations on low lumens, high lumens. We have swap outs. We have black on black demonstrations, certified screen demonstrations. ultra short throw demonstrations, ultra short throw certified demonstrations. All those tests are done. Very important. If a company's want to come out and say, hey, I can do the same thing with black fabric, black paint, I have demonstrations that I can show. No, it's not the same as black paint. It's not the same as black fabric. It's not the same as black vinyl. I can back that up. But you cannot back up your product. It's not the same as black and white paint. That is not good. Because at the end of the day, your customers are going to feel scammed. Now, people can throw campaigns all they want. Oh, Phantom is not my black paint. And you really, seriously? Let's do that. Let's just try that and see what happens. See, you can back it up. That's why you got to back yours up. That's what you got to do. Because at the end of the day, I can sit there and say your product is nothing but black and white paint, and there's nothing you can say about it right now. So that's what I'm trying to explain to him. Stop cutting corners. Stop lying to your customers, really, seriously. Now, I don't have to buy this paint from you ever again. Never have to buy it from you. I'd make it myself. Why? Why would I buy it? This right here is the personal mix. Right there. So the personal mix, we got 90% of the personal mix out of that one mixture right there. 90% of it. Now, do we have an exact duplicate of the personal mix? Yes, we do. We do have one. That's where we went out and we did 2 tablespoons, because it's a comparison to see how close we came. We did 2 first, tablespoons of black. We did 3, and then we did 4. 4 was a magic number. So 4 clicked. Now, keep in mind, up to you. It's up to you. Like I said, I wouldn't go any higher than maybe about in 4. I wouldn't go no higher than probably about, I'd say 7. So what you're going to do, go to camera and tell them how my black product is made. Knock yourself out. Put the ingredients out so I can make it down here and do a side-by-side comparison to my screen. As a matter of fact, I'll give you that challenge too. Try to make a black Phantom today. And post the ingredient so we can make it down here and put it against the screen and see what happens. I dare you. I challenge you to do so. Are you willing to take that challenge? Because if you give me that challenge about your products, if we can make it or not, give it to me. I'm making them right now. So please do give me that challenge. So I'm gonna give you that challenge. I'll give you a challenge today. Not only do I want to see you do a demonstration of black paint and other black fabrics versus your product against with a white screen behind the back of it, but I want you to make my Phantom today and post the ingredients so we can make it over here and do a side-by-side demonstration. You have until the end of the day to complete that one. If you don't, then we know bottom line, you can't make my product. As a matter of fact, give me a Phoenix too as you're at it. Give me the ingredients for that. Make the Phoenix and post the ingredients so we can do that one too also. See? There you go. That's the difference between me and everybody else. I like a challenge. So I'm hoping to see that by today. If someone's going to make claim that they made our products, you know what I mean, and post the ingredients, go ahead. I'm challenging you to do so. I'm giving you the opportunity. Please make it today. Post the ingredients so I can pop on there, write it down, order everything I need to order, make it right there on camera, and paint it against my screen and see if it matches. And if you want, you can give me a challenge. Challenge me to make the rest of your paint. I already got 3 of them knocked out. Look how the contrast of us are matching that one perfectly. Like I said, we got 90% of this one completed, but we got the actual finished product downstairs already done. We did a demonstration on that one already. But this one was a 100% match. Actually, all of them were 100% matches. Let me do it from his point of view so you can get an understanding how we got your product on both of them. See? Got your product. The fact that I have to be this close to the screen to show it to you, this is sad. You should never, ever be seen. Oh, we're really serious. I'm not going to go down this road. Yeah, I got your match of your product. See, once one of them clicks, the rest of them all open up. It is. It's kind of like watching, I don't know how you can explain that. Once you figure it out, like I said, the base of 10 tablespoons, anything in between that 10 is pretty much going to open up his product. That's what we figure out on our end. As you can see right there. But that's what I'm going to give you today. I'm going to give you a challenge, give you an opportunity. Make my product. Make my Phantom and make my Phoenix. Post the ingredients. We'll copy it down here. I'll make it, and then we'll see if it matches my screen. And until then, I want to see a demonstration of you doing two of them. One demonstration of you making that black and white mixture. Look at that. Look at how cool. Wow. And that black and white mixture versus your own products you have now. And I'm talking about I want to see a huge difference between night and day at around, you don't have 18 feet. So about 14 feet from your screen, you should be able to see a difference. Red screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now, you know what I mean by night and day? The personal mix and the Metallica mix, that's not a night and day. The white screen is not a night and day. We want to see a massive difference. Like if I were to... See the color of my screen? Your screen looks red when you have the white screen up there. When I put my screen up there, your screen washes out. That's what I mean by massive difference. Did you notice that? When we have the white screen up there, it looks like your screen is pulling in proper red, doesn't it? Now, if you look at it now, you would think that you're actually seeing the color red. It's funny how your eyes play tricks on you. You think you're seeing red, don't you? That's not red. That's washed out. So I'm used to seeing black screens all day. I'm used to seeing what real color actually looks like. Oh, we got to do this one on Facebook now. But as you can see, are you really seeing red? So your eyes, you think you're seeing red, but you're not seeing red. That's actually washed out. Now what color do you see? What color do you see next to our technology? See red, right? Now you see red. Now the other screen doesn't look that red, does it? It looks washed out. That's why I tell people at the end of the day, you're not seeing what you think you should be seeing. If you're using a gray screen paint product, you're not seeing red, you're not seeing blue, you're not seeing purple, you're not seeing none of that at all, period. You're seeing a washed out image. From a person who's basically been looking at black technology and knows what real colors look like, I can look at your demonstration, I can go, those colors are all washed out. So you're not really seeing the color that you think you're seeing. We go to my picture settings on my projector. Let's see where my color levels are coming in at. Get this out of the way. My color levels on my screen are at 0. So the settings on my projector are 0. My temperature color is low. My brightness is 0. My contrast is 0. This thing is below factory default settings. Usually they're at 50 or 30, whatever evens it off at. But my color is at 0. My temperature for my color, the height and the colors is low. Right, so everything is at 0. So if you think you're seeing color, you're not seeing color on gray screens. They don't pick up color. Only our technology sees color. All right, let's cover it up again. Let's do it one more time. We got the white screen, compare it to a white screen. All right, in the middle. Have a look at it. What color do you think you see? You think you see red? Again, not red. That's washed out. It's interesting how you spend all day long staring at your projection screen and really think at the end of the day, you honestly are seeing those colors. You're not seeing anything at all. Your screen is completely, it's a little better than a white screen, but it's still washed out at the end of the day. That's why screens like Black Diamond, screens like the Dark Star 9, the more expensive high-end screens that are darker, that know you're going to see much more richer and better colors than a gray or mid-gray screen, cost that kind of money. Because those particular screens are going to give you the best performance out of your projector. Unfortunately, they're going to come with an insane price tag attached to them. That's why if you look at a darker screen from Black Diamond to a darker screen from, what's it called, Elite screens, if the lighter screens are more advanced, how come they don't cost as much as the darker screens? All right. Again, seeing the red, right? What color do you see now? Now it doesn't look so bright, does it? Looks washed out. Looks really bad. Red screen's showing up a nice deep color. There you go. There you go. That's what I was trying to tell you. The gray screens are outdated. It's an outdated screen. Let's try this at. Wait, but it's not changing. Cancel. I don't want you to see this yet. Cover this up. I said, you guys watching those demonstrations, and you're thinking you're seeing bright colors. I'm like, no, the colors are washed out. And you don't think I'm joking when I say that. No, your colors are literally washed out. And people come to my live stream telling me, no, you know what you're talking about. Then I do one of these demonstrations, and it's quiet in the room. So let's see if we see real blue. The color blue.
Getting that from YouTube.
No, you're looking at that, you're thinking, I'm actually seeing blue. Nope, not seeing blue either. Colors washed out again. Now, see the difference also too while we're here when I'm talking to that particular individual. We're not going to mention your name. It has to be a huge difference between night and day. It can't be something like this, where you have a little bit of lightness here, because this screen's lighter than this one. No, huge difference. Like I'm showing you the colors back in the background. You have to tell them this, because ever since I saw that bare silver screen demonstration where the screens were like a little bump off, finger distance from the screen. Oh, no, don't do that. Please don't do that demonstration. All right, we think we're seeing blue here, right? Everybody sees blue? We all see blue? I don't see blue. Here we go. Now what color do you see? Now you see blue. Our technology is just fan blue. Those screens are washed out. There you go. That's what you're actually getting. As a matter of fact, they're somewhat matching the blue on the screen we have over here. At the end of the day, I keep telling y'all, you are not seeing colors that you think you're seeing. It's a shame. Some of you have nice projectors, much nicer than the one I'm using here in the demonstration. Calibrated, you know, the whole 9 yards. And at the end of the day, you have a washed out image. Let me see. Let's go with real quick. Let's cover the screen up first, because we'll take apart the effect. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's try neon green.
Getting that from YouTube.
Here we are, neon green. Looks pretty good, huh? I think you're really actually seeing green. All right, let's see how close it comes to it. Not even close. Kind of feel like now you're thinking about it. Now you're gonna go home and look at your screen, or you're probably home right now and you're gonna stare at it. You're gonna think you're actually seeing green. You're not seeing any of those colors you think you're seeing. Your projector can't even pick them up. It's a shame because my projector is an older model, probably much older than the one you're using at home, and my projector can see color when yours can't. If you're using a gray screen paint product or gray projection screen, because in order for you to see that color correctly, you're going to spend some money. You're going to spend at least about $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 for a projection screen to do that. You're going to have to go with one of the big boy screens or our technology. Because the gray screen paint products can't pull the image. Now, when I talk about you have to see red screen, a huge difference between night and day means you should be able to see a huge difference between night and day. This is what I'm explaining to the other person that I asked to do the demonstration on your gray screen paint products versus the products you have now, that you have to see a difference between night and day. See that screen sitting against there? I don't want to see that. That's not a difference between night and day. I want to see a difference like that between night and day. All right, well, that's it for me. Got to be on Facebook real quick because we're going to be doing a demonstration on these gray screen paint products, showing you why you want to stay away from gray screen paint products because they don't see color at the end of the day, and you're wasting your money. All right, with that being said, thank you for your time. Got to go, and God bless.